Welcome back. Now, the definition of input service remains to be done. Now, by now you must be thorough with the definition of input and capital goods, and you are also well versed with the method of picking up, method of doing, how we should do. So, simply capital goods is in A, B, C, D, and inputs are simply A, B, C, D, E, F. That is it. And again input service is in A, B, B, A, C, A, B, B, A, C, 4 parts. That is it. So, put it, cut it into parts, take anything, cut it into parts and size it, cut and size. When you cut it and size it, everything is in your control. So, in the similar fashion, in the similar way, so let me do the definition of input service also. So, what is input service? I have written something, you see, I have written service, service, service. It is in 3 parts actually, and third part has some attachments. So, first part of service simply talks about service means. What it means conclusive. It means conclusive. Exactly what is input service they are saying, and in the second part they are saying what it includes. Input service includes what could include, means that list is not exhaustive, there can be something similar to that. So, what it includes, second part, and the third part simply says what input, what does it not include, what is not input service, what is in, what service input service means, what input service includes, what input service does not include, means which what input service excludes. So, exclusions list is A, B, B, A and C, that is it. The rest is simply read. The definition part we have done already. Okay. So, please, service means, first part, service means it is precisely or exhaustively stating or specifying what service is, because it means what it means. Practically it means what it means to a service provider, what it means to a manufacturer, that is what they said. You see here what it means to a manufacturer or what it means to a service provider. So, service means service used by. So, use basis, if you look at all the 3 definitions, you will find that it is use based. Use based means service used by, and similarly look at inputs used. Look at the definition of capital goods used. So, use is the basis. If you do not use, by definition it is not input or input service or capital goods. So, use is the basis. Here also use, used by, see, used by service provider for providing output service. Service provider for providing output service means direct use, not indirect. Suppose here I have consumed some service, I have paid for some services, and with the help of these services I am providing service, otherwise no. There should be direct connection, there should be a connection between the service I have procured and the service I am providing. So, I am using those services to provide the other service. That is how used by service provider for providing output service. Done? So, direct use. And what about manufacturer? For manufacturer it is not necessary, direct use is not necessary. That is why they say use directly or indirectly, use directly or indirectly, or for providing what you can say directly or indirectly in or in relation to manufacture. It may be in relation to manufacture or it may be in manufacture. In manufacture again is like direct use, in relation to means remote connection, not directly connected, not directly related, in relation to. Not directly connected is called in relation to. Directly or indirectly in manufacture or in relation to manufacture. Put together is direct or indirect. So, for manufacturing activity you are using some service, that service may be or may not be directly connected with your manufactured product. Still, so that relaxation or you can say cushion that has been given to a manufacturer, but not to service provider. For service provider always you see all the three definitions, the service provider must use input, use that goods, do those goods whether capital or input for providing output service. Similarly, here also he must use, the service provider must use the input service, the service for providing output service, otherwise it is not an input service. Like that, it's a very technical and typical way they have done it. So, okay. So, for manufacturer one more thing has been there, that is and for clearance of goods, and not only in manufacture or in relation to manufacture, but also for clearing of goods, but up to the place of removal. So, here is a big thing to be understood for clearing of output. So, what does it mean, clearing of goods up to the place of removal? So, let me read out this, because I read out the text and you please catch the text language and then I will explain. So, what does it say is, what it says is, input service means any service used by provider of output service for providing output service, used for providing output service means direct use, or used by a manufacturer whether directly or indirectly in or in relation to the manufacture of final products, in relation to manufacture or in relation to in manufacture or in relation to manufacture of final products. And so, what is that link? And clearance of final products up to the place of removal. Say they used the language, it has created and it has been creating a lot of controversy. There are number of cases. So, to alleviate that, recently they have added the definition of place of removal in CENVAT credit rules, but of course, place of removal definition has already been given under Central Excise Act section 4.3 C. Under section 4.3 C of Central Excise Act, definition of place of removal has been given, but deliberately again in CENVAT credit rules they have copied and pasted. They could say refer to the definition given under section 4.3 C, but they did not want to do, they put it there, of course facilitating, beneficial. So, place of removal, up to the place of removal, the word clearance of goods, that is clearance of final products, that up to the place of removal means clearance of final products, not clearance of inputs. Suppose some goods have been purchased by X, a manufacturer, and he is sending them to a warehouse for storage. Of course, that is not allowed normally. So, he is say factory is a place of removal and warehouse is also a place of removal, and he is sending the semi finished or unfinished goods or inputs to warehouse. Is it covered here? No. So, your final products must be dispatched, that to up to the place of removal, not beyond place of removal. So, up to the place of so not up to the place of, up to clearance up to the place of removal. So, up to the place of removal. So, place of removal you have to understand very carefully how it is different from place of delivery, because place of removal and place of delivery are different, you should know. and you have to go deep, delve deep into this concept, otherwise simply you are mugging up. And up to, it has a lot of significance. There are number of cases also nowadays. See, there are cases in 2015, there are 2 cases by disposed of by Supreme Court. And clearance of goods, clearance of final products, he is talking about final products, not inputs or semi finished. So, the language says manufacture, to the manufacture of final products and clearance of final products. So, clearance of final products up to the place of removal, that is it. So, this is what we have to understand. Suppose there is a factory, say in Delhi, it is factory, and in Faridabad, maybe you are not aware of Faridabad, let me put some other place. So, something like Agra, very familiar, all of you know. This is Agra branch, you have a branch at Agra. So, it is in Agra, and by definition, if you look at the definition under section 43C or definition given under CENVAT credit rules, this is initial place of removal. Factory is a place of removal, and from factory goods are being shifted through vehicle. Okay. The goods are being shifted, the final product manufactured in the factory is being dispatched to Agra branch. So, this is a case you can say. Agra is also a place of removal, Agra branch is a place of removal, Delhi factory is a place of removal, from one place of removal to another place of removal. This you can say up to the place of removal. This is what it means, up to the place of removal. And similarly, suppose you have warehouse, you have a warehouse at any place, you can say Jaipur, you have a warehouse in Jaipur, Rajasthan, and you are dispatching goods to Jaipur. Final products, it is final product, but remember, do not be misled or mistaken. Final product means on which duty is being paid or payable. So, even intermediate product which is cleared is a final product. Understand? So, when the goods are manufactured and cleared, it is a final product. Okay? You have to read the definition of final product carefully, understand. So, on which duty is payable. Suppose you have used some input and you have produced something intermediate and you are clearing it and duty is payable on that. That intermediate product cleared is a final product, because on which duty is payable. So, input level credit is available, use it. Okay? So, in that sense, final product means on which there is a clearance and on which duty is being paid or payable normally. If they are exempt, there is no case of input level credit or CENVAT credit. Okay. On exempted goods, you do not get any CENVAT credit at all. So, the final product is sent from Delhi to Jaipur, where warehouse is located, that is up to the place of clearance of goods up to the place of removal. Of course, this is not removal, but you are sending goods, clearing goods from factory up to the place of removal, that is warehouse is a place of removal, it is up to the place of removal. You are sending goods to Agra branch, that is for sale, this is for storage and that is for sale. Of course, when you are clearing goods from factory to warehouse, you do not have to make any assessment, but you have to, but when you are sending goods from factory to Agra branch, you have to make assessment under rule 7 of valuation rules, and you have to pay duty. Oh, that is a different issue. So, here Agra branch. So, it is removal clearance up to the place of removal. Then what is not place of removal? What is not place of removal? What is up to the, what is not up to the place of removal? Say you are sending goods to, say, a customer, say in Mumbai. I will put it, Mumbai is obviously Mumbai. Say, let us say you have a customer in Mumbai. In Mumbai, you have customer. Okay? Your customer is in Mumbai and you are dispatching goods from your factory to Mumbai. So, it is not up to the place of removal. Up to the place, this is not up to the place of removal, this is up to the place of delivery. This is customer's place is place of delivery, and your branch, your warehouse, etc., is another place of removal. Because the goods which are sent to Agra branch are disposed of, are sold from Agra. So, Agra is a place of removal. So, factory to Delhi factory to Agra branch is a removal from one place of removal to another place of removal, and from factory to warehouse it is from one place of removal to another place of removal. So, if you provide, if you pay any freight charges, what is the logic link? Look at the link here. If you pay any freight charges for dispatch of goods from factory, Delhi factory to Agra branch, you are providing, you are maybe you are using GTS services, you are probably paying service tax on this transport charges. So, that service tax, whatever you are paying as service tax, that is eligible as input service, that is you will be getting credit, CENVAT credit on the service tax paid on freight charges, because it is up to the place of removal. Okay. Similarly, you are sending goods from Delhi factory to Jaipur warehouse. So, it is dispatch up to the place of removal. So, in between whatever input service tax on freight charges you paid, or even say input insurance charges, maybe transit insurance is there, insurance company is also collecting service tax. So, insurance charges or freight charges whatever be there, on those charges you are eligible to take CENVAT credit, because it is dispatched from one place of removal to another place of removal. So, this is a clearance of final product up to the place of removal. But when you are dispatching the goods to your customer in Mumbai, it is not clearance up to the place of removal, because it is not a point of sale. It is a delivery. See, ownership is not supposed to transfer at Mumbai, ownership is supposed to transfer at Delhi factory itself. You read rule 5 carefully, the mechanism given under rule 5 and the language used in rule 5 carefully. You have to do a little more research to get the concept, to get the expert level. If you do not want to get to the expert level, that is a wonderful thing. Okay. So, in this case, dispatch to Mumbai, you are paying, suppose you are paying freight charges, that is not input service, because it is not a clearance of final product up to the place of removal. It is up to the place of delivery, because place of customer is a place of delivery. And recently, we have two interesting cases. So, Supreme Court dispatched. One is Ispat India. Let me give you the name of the case. Ispat India Limited case. Ispat India Limited case. This is Supreme Court 2015, very fresh. And one more case is A1's Construction Products. A1's Construction Products Limited. This is also 2015 Supreme Court. you know, the cases they became very big cases because of this, mainly because of this input service, whether the freight charges paid by them, the service tax on freight charges paid by them qualifies for input tax credit or not. Input service, if it is input service, the manufacturer is eligible to take CENVAT credit. If it is not, he is not able to get. The issue is the argument that the department says no. So, where ownership transferred? The issue is whether the ownership transferred at the factory, maybe insurance charges are paid by the manufacturer and reimbursed by buyer. So, whether the ownership really transfers at the customer's place. If the ownership transfers, if the title transfers at the customer's place, the customer place is the place of removal, or you can say point of sale. So, all expenses up to, because the ownership transferred at customer's place, sale took place or sale concluded at the premises of the customer. In such a case, all expenses up to the place of customer are included, freight charges are included, but Supreme Court did not endorse that idea, say no, it does not happen. But normally what happens is the ownership transfers at the factory, sale is at factory, and beyond that whatever transport etc. is paid, incurred, that is not a part of value. So, it is not included in value, and obviously the freight charges, the service tax paid on freight and insurance charges, they are not input services. That was the conclusion. So, if you want to do research, I am giving you the input. Look at these two cases, Ispat India Limited or Evans Construction Products Limited. Google search, if you search in Google, you will get all the case details. Then you will be able to understand why these cases are surfaced, where ownership transferred, because in such a case where ownership transferred, sale took place at the factory gate, whatever expenditure is incurred beyond that point is not a part of value, and excise duty is not payable on that portion. If it is already included, it is eligible to be deducted as per rule 5, and not only that, and that service tax paid on transportation from factory to the place of customer does not qualify for input service. So, CENVAT credit is not available because it is not input service. So, see, there is a link from excise to service and service tax. So, these things you have to understand carefully, because it is at final level, we can't leave anything, because final level means it is expert level, ultimate, everything you should know, everything on earth. Simply overview or simple reading, it may be very risky. So, maybe number of attempts are wasted. So, our objective is to see that you will get to the point thoroughly, everything. Okay? Of course, your effort, which is more important. So, first part, what is service? Service means service used by service provider for providing output service done, and service means service used by manufacturer in manufacture of final products, in or in relation to direct or indirect, and also service used for clearing of final product from one place of removal to another place of removal. That is what it means, up to the place of removal. Okay? If you are still not able to get, you go back to the video and listen to the video once again. Certainly, you will get into this, and further look into these cases, Evans Construction Products Limited and Ispat India Limited. Both are Supreme Court cases delivered in 2015. Anyway, you will get. Okay? So, this is the part of what it means, what service means. Now, the question is, there is a lengthy list, inexhaustive, lengthy list of services which they say service includes. So, service includes what? There is a list, I can only read out because it is a big list. Service includes what are the things that the service includes? Let me read out for your benefit. Service includes services used in relation to modernization, renovation or repairs of a factory. Premises of provider of output service means available to both. So, modernization, renovation, repairs of factory or premises of service provider or an office relating to such factory or premises, even factory's office or service provider's office. Next, advertisement or sales promotion. For sales promotion, they have given a clue. They have added in budget 2016. Sales promotion includes sale of goods on commission basis by an agent. If you employ an agent and he will be selling your goods on commission basis, that is also sales promotion. Automatically, whatever service tax you pay to the commission agent for receiving services for the sale of your goods, then you are eligible to take CENVAT credit. Okay? So, they have given explanation also. For the purpose of this clause, sales promotion includes services by way of sale of dutiable goods on commission basis. If they are not dutiable goods, where is the fun? Suppose exempted goods, you are not eligible to take credit. So, they are very cautious, they said dutiable goods. But dutiable goods, that becomes controversial. What do you mean by dutiable goods? Dutiable goods, they mean goods which are not exempt by the definition given under CENVAT credit rules, because exempted goods have been defined under rule 2D, which include nil rated goods, fully exempted goods and partly exempted goods given under notification 1/2011 and 12/2012. So, they are, when they are not exempted goods, they are dutiable goods. That is how we have to interpret. Of course, when the case goes to the court, again court tries to interpret, but for us to understand, not exempted goods. If they are exempted goods, you are not eligible to take credit now. So, you are given the eligibility, you are allowed to take CENVAT credit on that input service, where suppose you have employed a person as an agent. You are manufacturing certain goods which are excisable and dutiable, you are paying duty, and to sell those goods, you have engaged a agent on commission basis, and he is selling and he is collecting some commission. On commission, he is charging service tax. Okay? So, are you eligible to take credit? Yes, because it is on dutiable goods, not exempted goods, and you can use that CENVAT credit, whatever service tax you pay to the commission agent, because they have added a clarification to, because controversial, so many cases came up and different interpretations started coming up. So, to avoid that, simply they say whatever service tax you pay to the commission agent for sale of goods which are dutiable, you are eligible to take CENVAT credit, because it comes under sales promotion. So, let me read out once again. So, talks about, it includes services in relation to modernization, renovation, repairs, etc., and also advertisement or sales promotion, right. Market research, storage up to the place of removal. Lawmakers are very careful, wherever they are talking about transport, etc., up to the place of removal. Beyond the place of removal, no. Up to the place of removal. Procurement of inputs, accounting, auditing, financing, recruitment and quality control, coaching and training, computer networking, credit rating, share registry, security, business exhibition, legal services, inward transportation of inputs or capital goods and outward transportation, but up to the place of removal. All these things up to the place of removal only, not beyond the place of removal. So many cases came up, so many interpretations came up. So, to avoid, to mitigate that, simply say up to the place of removal. I know you understand what is up to the place of removal, what is beyond the place of removal. So, up to the place of removal, suppose you carry Now, by virtue of this, you carry inputs from one place of removal to another place of removal. Now, they say it includes. In when they talk about what means input service, they simply gave a clean sheet to final products transport up to the place of removal, but here inputs up to the place of removal means you procure some inputs from some place and you are bringing those inputs to your warehouse for storage, or maybe you are bringing those inputs to the stores in your factory. So, whatever transportation, whatever is inputs service tax you paid for getting the goods up to your place, that qualifies for CENVAT credit. You will be getting CENVAT credit on that. And then again business exhibition, registry, security, business exhibition, legal services, inward transportation up of inputs or capital goods and outward transportation, everything but up to the place of removal, and outward transportation up to the place of removal, inward transportation and outward transportation up to the place of removal, they are all input service includes. If you pay service tax on any of the above, then you are eligible to take CENVAT credit. Okay? And it excludes. What excludes? What is not input service? It is a good thing. What excludes? What excludes? There is a list. It is in part A, B and C. Part A, what excludes? The service portion. The service portion in works contract or construction services. So, they are excluding why? Service portion. Why they are excluding service portion? Let me read. Is it A or anything else? Service portion in the execution of works contract and construction services, including service listed under B 66E of Finance Act, insofar as they are used for construction or execution of works contract of a building or civil structure or a part thereof, or laying of foundation or making of structures for support of capital goods. So, if you do not understand what is service portion in the definition of input and you cannot understand, automatically link cut off. You cannot appreciate what is not input service. Simply speaking, the service portion is considered as input. The service portion of consumables etc. used in works contract or construction service etc. are considered as input under rule 2K of the CENVAT credit rules. So, it is already input there. The same thing cannot be input service here, because the service portion was considered as input there because they are goods. So, the same thing cannot be considered as input service here. You get qualification either there or here, because they are goods, they are inputs. So, they are not input services, because they are inputs there, they are not input services here. Okay? Got it? Unless they are used for provision of one or more of these specified services. Suppose they are used. So, these for works contract, construction services or laying foundation etc. services for supporting of capital goods etc., the service portion is not input service, it is input there. But if they are used, unless except for the provision of one or more of the specified services. Suppose they are used for any specified service, then it can be one or more of the specified services. For any specified service, if they are used, in that sense that may be input service. Otherwise, for works contract or construction services, it cannot be, because these are treated as inputs there under the definition of input. They fall under the definition of input. That is the reason why they are not here. So look at part B. And B, A is over and B is about services provided by way of renting of a motor vehicle. Services provided by way of renting of a motor vehicle insofar they relate to a motor vehicle which is not capital goods. So, a motor vehicle which is not capital goods as per the definition, and for that renting of motor vehicle it is not input service. If any service relates to renting of motor vehicle where that motor vehicle is not capital goods by definition, because it is out of the purview. If it is capital goods, then renting will be taken as such. What does it mean? So, when it is capital goods, say look at renting of motor vehicles, okay. Renting of a motor vehicle relate to a vehicle which is not capital goods. Renting of motor vehicles you find as capital goods in part B and part A and B. Part A capital goods, no, part B and C. Part B for carriage of goods or renting of motor vehicles. For a service provider, specified service provider, if he is carrying inputs or capital goods for his service, for his output service, or if he is using, if a service provider whose activity is renting, his job is to rent, his activity is renting activity, or if he is a courier services, or in the case of carriage of passengers, he lets out, he rents, he gives his vehicle for rent purpose. I have a bus, I give it for rent, but that bus is meant for carrying passengers, but I give it for rent. My activity is renting. So, in that case it is capital goods. Suppose if somebody gives it on rent basis, which is not capital goods. He need not be this particular service provider. Na? Suppose you are an outdoor catering service provider, okay? Not outdoor catering, let me use something else, some other service. You are a service provider, say your service is to cleaning services. Cleaning services, door to door, you will go to the offices and you provide contract labor, use contract labor and get the premises cleaned. That is called housekeeping service or cleaning service. And for housekeeping or cleaning services, you are using some motor vehicle, because in time they have to be reached, they have to be available. So, you are using some vehicle, a van, and you are carrying them and you are leaving them to the premises, and they are getting down and they are doing the cleaning process, and you are providing transport services to your employees. Okay. Is the vehicle capital goods for you? You are using the vehicle to transport your employees. For the transportation of your employees, you are using the vehicle. Okay. So, is the vehicle capital goods? Is the motor vehicle, that van you are using, is it capital goods for you? You have to check the definition of capital goods. In the first category, A list, in the A list it does not, because it falls under 87 chapter 87 chapter 8703 carriage of passengers, less than 10 people and not more than 10 people, it is a van. So, it is not capital goods there, because it is falling under 8703, right, chapter number 8703. And come to this BC, B is carrying goods, it is not carrying passengers. C, carrying of passengers, but only 3 types of services qualify for capital goods. Number 1, renting of vehicle. Your job is to rent, give on renting. So, here this fellow is a cleaning service provider, cleaning services. he is not a renter, but he has rented it. So, your service is to provide cleaning services, that is housekeeping services, and you have a vehicle and you have given it to somebody for renting. Your job is not a renting activity, your activity is cleaning services. How come? So, that vehicle is not capital goods, because you are using it for carrying your employees. So, when it is not capital goods, if you happen to rent it out, for that to pay service tax, if any, on that, you cannot take input tax, you cannot take CENVAT credit on the input services, because it is not capital goods for you. So, very technical, you have to understand carefully. And similarly, services of general insurance business, servicing, repair and maintenance insofar as they relate to motor vehicle, which is not capital goods. So, these services also, services of general insurance business, servicing, repair and maintenance, if they are not capital goods, if relate to a motor vehicle, if the motor vehicle is not capital goods for them. Motor vehicle is not capital goods for them if it does not fall under A, B, C. If it does not fall under A or B or C, it is not capital goods. If it falls under A, B, C, A or B or C, then it is capital goods. For you, it is not capital goods. So, if it is not a capital goods, if your vehicle is not a capital goods, and in such a case, general insurance business, servicing, repair, etc., that service is not an input service, but there is a qualification, there is an exception. What are the exceptions? Suppose you are a manufacturer of motor vehicles, then it is. You are yourself the manufacturer of motor vehicles, then these services are repair, maintenance, whatever it is, insurance, etc., they are input services. Similarly, you are an insurance company, you are an insurer. If you are an insurance company, if you are a manufacturer of motor vehicles, in such a case, these qualify for input services, for all others they are not. See how technical it is. And C, B is for motor vehicles which are not capital goods. In such a case, renting insurance, general insurance services, etc., no, but unless you are a manufacturer of motor vehicles, unless you are a insurance company, then it is okay, otherwise no. And these are the things specified in B and BA. BA is about insurance, etc., and B for renting. And C, very interesting, such as those provided in relation to outdoor catering, there is a list. Outdoor catering, beauty treatment, or you can say health services, or you can say cosmetic and plastic surgery, and also membership of a club, health and fitness center, life insurance, health insurance and travel benefits extended to employees on vacation, such as leave or home travel concession, when such services are used primarily for personal use, when services are primarily used for personal use or for consumption of an employee. There primarily for personal use or consumption of employee of goods, not inputs, here services, not services. They have used the word such as, means for example. So, primarily if a service is used by an employee or for personal use of an employee, if they are provided, if they are procured, they do not qualify as input services. There could be a lot of controversy, there could be so many situations which may become controversial, but of course, they will go to courts and courts finally decide. Okay. So, what is not? So, primarily for employee use, services for employee use disqualified, they are not input services under C. See, if you look at the definition as a whole, these three things you are able to get. So, what is service? They have given. They have given what is service, and then what it includes. Service includes what? There is a long list, and next service which is not input service, exclusive list, exclusion list. What excludes, what includes, and what it means. What it means, what it includes, and what it excludes. How simple and easy it is. So, how we started feeling simple, because we have cut it into three parts. It is in three parts, and one part is what it means to a service provider and what it means to a manufacturer. The second part is what it includes, and the third part is what it excludes. So, with this everything has been done. So, I thank you very, very much. I feel like thanking you, because you have gone through, you have heard my lecture patiently with a lot of patience, and of course, it will be of use to you. If you have a research type mind, this will suit you, suit your appetite. Even otherwise, it will be useful to your examination. Okay? So, I think I have done to the best of my ability to explain what is capital goods and what is input and what is input service. Okay? And you please go through, and you are free to put your queries, because it is always there. So, you are free to put your queries, and you can ask your doubts. That facility is there. You can directly contact CALS, or otherwise my number, WhatsApp number 9811-737205, my WhatsApp number, and also SP-Rao IDT @yahoo.com, SP-Rao IDT @yahoo.com, and this is for mail. And nowadays WhatsApp is doing wonders. It is very useful, even voice message. So, if you send a voice message, I hear and I speak out in 1 minute or a half minute, job is done. So, thanks to technology, we are in the age of technology. I am fortunate to be in the age of technology. I am a part of this technology, and I am able to deliver at least to this extent. Okay? So, these three definitions are so important that you will get practical questions. You will be able to solve practical questions comfortably. And until and unless these definitions are clear to you, sorry, SORRY. Okay? And read case study also, which is connected with these definitions. You have to study a lot, no excuse, no compromise. Institute wants you to spend a lot of time in enriching your knowledge, and you will be not only clearing the examination, but you will become a very successful and proud professional of the institute. Okay?